Okay, Tim here with an '03 Rubicon. I ran into the same problem that a lot of other Jeep owners run into with trying to replace the rear shocks. And when you try to unscrew the nuts on the bolts that hold the bow tie connectors to the cross member on the truck, the bolts shear right off when you put a socket on them. So I've seen a lot of different methods where people are using grinders, using air punches to try to replace those bolts on the cross member of the Jeep. And I decided I'm really tired of busting my knuckles on this vehicle, so I came up with my own solution. Here it is. On the back of the Jeep, I decided I was going to mount the shock like it should have been mounted, like on a Tahoe or a pickup truck, to the frame. So what I did was I bought a 1/2 inch carriage bolt, 6 inches long, stainless steel. You could also use a grade 8 bolt. And I bought a 1/2 inch steel bit. Took that bit, lined up directly across from the old bow tie connectors that you can see from under the truck under here. Went about center on the frame, lined up this way, and drilled straight through with my 1/2 inch bit. Then I inserted this 6 inch 1/2 inch stainless steel carriage bolt. Okay, it's difficult to hold the camera on here by myself, but you can see that I drilled the 1/2 inch hole through the truck frame, and when I push it in, you can see the old bow tie mounts here and here, and then the shock was up in this hole. So now we're perfectly lined up with where we were before, and we don't have to deal with that anymore because this carriage bolt's going to slide right through the shock. Okay, after I get that carriage bolt in there, I took 2 5/8 galvanized nuts and I used them as spacers. So you can see I've got one on there now, and then I'm putting a second one on so that when our carriage bolt is all the way in against the frame with a washer, our shock is spaced in the middle of the original spot where it should be. So it's lined up down here with perpendicular to our bottom bracket on our axle. Okay, now we've got our spacers in there, our 5/8 galvanized nuts, and then over here on this side you can see I put the washer on and the stainless steel nut. So our shock is now lined up exactly where it used to be with the bow tie connector. Now keep in mind, when you drill this hole over here to put this 6 inch carriage bolt in, don't get too high on the frame, because you've got this nut over here that has to be able, you've got to be able to put it on. So if you get too high up in this original hole where the old shock was mounted, you're not going to be able to get that nut on the other side of that shock. So make sure you can see that the hole in my frame is down about 1 inch from the top of the frame, almost centered. If you run center, you'll surely clear to be able to get that nut on. And then we're just going to mount, push this up, put our bottom bolt on, tighten up the top, and we're done. So that's my fix for the rear shocks on the TJ. Maybe you'll like it. I thought it was a lot easier than busting my knuckles with an air chisel or a cutting tool. Thank you very much. This is Tim, out.